When you hear this, or this, or even this, you automatically know what the sound is just from what you're listening to. Even if you was in another room, you'd be able to identify exactly what was playing just from the sound entering the holes in the side of your head. But now, most of the time, I hear stuff like this. Or this. These days, all we seem to get is atmosphere over everything else. As if the developers don't trust the gameplay enough, they need some Hans Zimmer type drone music going on in the background. This isn't to say that the music isn't good, far from it, but more, it's the lack of theme songs that seems to make every game feel tonally the same. So what happened to the musical themes in games? So, for the people wondering why the fuck I'm talking about the most least important part of a game, well, to that I say music actually plays a much bigger role than you may think. But this isn't a critique of the music from games, but it's more to do with the lack of theme songs. So what do I mean by theme songs? Well, if I was to show you this picture of a phone box here, and then play this music in the background, well, it's just a phone box with some fancy music. Now let's do that again with a different song. Most people will know exactly what I'm getting at here, or at least have some sort of idea of what it represents. Theme songs are like familiar smells. When you smell something nice that you recognise, it will flood your head with memories, or it will make your mouth water depending on the smell. Theme songs are exactly the same. They trigger a response in your brain and you recognise it instantly. Right, before you lot start on me in the comments and talk about your favourite songs from a film or a game or whatever other thing you're going to mention, I'll make it clear again. This is about theme songs, not the quality of music in general. So here's some examples of what I'm talking about. This song should make a few ears prick up. For anybody that hasn't heard this tune before, this song has a lot of weight behind it. It is literally the sound of relief and safety to players of Resident Evil. Hearing this simple song informs the player that they can take a breather, and no matter what, they are no longer at risk of danger. This song, to long-time players of the series, have this drilled into their head, even though it varies from entry to entry. Another example people should be familiar with. The Metal Gear series has a lot of theme songs that are recognisable, but there is one that's most recognisable amongst all of the titles. Game, they've even made alternate arrangements to suit the theme present in each title. They even adapt the theme song to make you feel a specific emotion. Every time you boot into the new entry of the series, it's like being greeted by an old friend. That is till you get to Metal Gear Solid 5, and that all goes out the window in place of a bland ambient drone that a majority of media uses these days. Why they got rid of the theme song is beyond me. It also helped push me further away from Metal Gear Solid 5, as if the rest of the game weren't bad enough. Here's a look at another example. The intro to Final Fantasy XV opens with you and the boys pushing down your broken down car down a long road whilst having banter with each other, whilst in the background plays a version of the song Stand By Me.
Nah, we just switched back there.
And it's my turn, Noct.
His turn.
Oh, my hands are killing me.
You rather I kill you with mine?
Easy there, tough guy.
Any luck?
Most people think this is great, but I don't think most people understand why they think it's great, and that the reason they think this doesn't even have anything to do with the game itself. The choice of songs to use in the intro was used to tickle your nostalgia bones. Back to when you saw the movie Stand By Me. Most people of a certain age will all tell you how much they like this movie because it reminds them of themselves and their own childhoods. And this is the reason that it clicked with people. But give it a few years, and the same people that praise the song will revert back to their memories of hearing it in the movie rather than in the intro of Final Fantasy XV.
Hard as I can.
But keeping to the same series, when I play the first few seconds of this song, and everybody knows exactly what that music was from, what character it represents, and what part of the game it plays in. And not only that song either, the Golden Saucer and the Honeybee Inn themes are instantly recognisable, but even these don't count as theme songs. But here's where they got clever. The Final Fantasy games used to do something really cool in the way they handled theme songs, and that was to keep certain aspects of the song intact across games, but then altering the song to make it unique to each entry into the series. Sadly, as the years have gone on and the style of game has changed, these have slowly started to fade away. But here's some good examples. First off, let's listen to the fanfare from a few of the different games. Now let's take a listen to some of the battle themes. This is their way of telling you what you was playing, but also telling you that it isn't the same game. Very clever if you ask me. Some may think in the time that we're in, a theme song might just cheapen the product, or that theme songs belong in kids' cartoons. I completely disagree. Being a producer myself, I know how much tone and the sound of a song can affect a person's mood or awareness. Music can even speed up heart rates. The Star Wars opening theme isn't there for no reason. It's there to remind you that you're watching something in particular and not just any latest and greatest film set in space. It's almost like a signature on a piece of art. Again, I will stress that this isn't me saying that the music in games is crap now. Far from it. Most of it are incredible soundscapes that paint pictures in your head. But at the same time, it's become so good that it's becoming quite interchangeable. My argument is that we need more theme songs to be that signature on franchises, and to be that first thing that brings the feels when you boot up a game or when you first see the protagonist appear. It doesn't cheapen a product or make it cheesy, it just makes it stick in your head so that you're humming it when you're not playing the game. and it gives you a little emotional reaction and even nostalgia that some people might hold close to their hearts. Well, glad you enjoyed this. Something a little bit different, but it's something that's really been bothering me for a little while, so I had to sort of just make a video about it. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel if you ain't, join the Discord server, and I'll see you in the next video.